Every time you stream a movie, send an email, or save a photo to the cloud, your digital life travels to a massive hidden facility known as a data center. These unseen fortresses form the literal backbone of our modern, hyper-connected digital existence. But what exactly keeps these colossal buildings running day and night without a single interruption? The sheer amount of electricity required is absolutely staggering, rivaling entire medium-sized cities. A single hyperscale facility can demand well over 100 megawatts of continuous raw power. This immense energy flows directly from high-voltage transmission lines connected to the regional electrical grid. Once inside, the raw alternating current is meticulously conditioned and routed through massive, heavy transformers. These vital components step down the voltage, making it perfectly safe for delicate computer servers. But municipal power grids are never entirely flawless, and absolute downtime is simply not an option. This is where colossal battery banks, known as uninterruptible power supplies, instantly bridge the gap. They provide critical, immediate electricity the exact millisecond the main grid experiences any minor failure. These lead-acid or lithium-ion batteries hold the fort while the next stage of power activates. Almost simultaneously, roaring diesel or natural gas generators spin to life just outside the building. These mechanical beasts act as massive power plants, ensuring your information remains perfectly accessible everywhere. Massive underground tanks store hundreds of thousands of gallons of diesel fuel on the premises. This allows the data center to operate independently off the grid for days or weeks. However, bringing electricity to the server racks is only one half of this complex equation. All those millions of processing microchips generate an unimaginable amount of intense, continuous radiating heat. Thermodynamics dictates that every watt of computing power becomes a watt of heat energy instantly. Without massive, industrial-scale cooling systems, the servers would literally melt themselves within a few minutes. That is why enormous chillers and complex liquid cooling networks pump millions of gallons of water. Cold air is forced up through raised floors, creating distinct hot and cold server aisles. Fans push the chilled air directly through the server racks, capturing the dangerous thermal exhaust. The heated air rises to the ceiling and gets pulled back into giant air handling units. These specific systems use chilled water loops to cool the air down before recirculating it again. Outside the building, massive cooling towers evaporate water to release this captured heat into the atmosphere. This evaporative process consumes staggering amounts of fresh water every single day to function properly. In drought-stricken regions, this massive water consumption has become a highly controversial and challenging issue. To combat this, engineers are pioneering closed-loop systems that drastically reduce the total water waste. We are also seeing a rapid shift towards advanced, direct-to-chip liquid cooling technology for efficiency. Tiny tubes pump specialized cooling fluid directly across the surface of the hottest microprocessors. Some facilities are even experimenting with total immersion cooling for their most demanding server hardware. Entire racks of computers are submerged in vats of engineered, non-conductive dielectric fluid for maximum cooling. Beyond cooling, the fundamental source of this electricity is undergoing a massive global transformation today. The biggest technology companies are aggressively pursuing green energy to power these digital engines cleanly. Massive wind farms and sprawling solar arrays are increasingly being built to offset this massive draw. Tech giants eagerly sign power purchase agreements to fund brand new renewable energy projects worldwide. The ultimate goal is to match every megawatt of dirty grid power with clean, sustainable electricity. Yet wind and solar are inherently intermittent, and the data centers demand continuous, steady baseload power. This harsh realization is driving renewed interest in highly reliable, zero-carbon nuclear energy across the industry. Some data centers are now being built directly adjacent to existing nuclear power plants for stability. In the near future, small modular reactors could provide dedicated on-site atomic energy for server farms. Geography also plays a crucial role in how we power and cool these massive unseen facilities. Operators are actively seeking out locations with naturally frigid climates to exploit free environmental air cooling. Placing data centers in places like Iceland or Scandinavia drastically reduces the electricity needed for chilling. They are even successfully testing underwater data centers, sinking sealed server pods deep into the freezing ocean. The surrounding ocean naturally wicks away the heat, eliminating the need for complex, energy-hungry mechanical chillers. These geographical innovations are becoming entirely essential as the nature of our digital requests rapidly evolves. The global explosion of artificial intelligence is fundamentally changing the architecture and power demands of these centers. Training a massive large language model requires specialized graphics processing units that consume totally unprecedented power. A single dense rack of AI servers can easily draw 5 times more electricity than a traditional rack. This staggering increase in density forces engineers to completely rethink electrical distribution within the entire building. Power cables grow incredibly thicker, and the physical infrastructure must be heavily reinforced to support the load. We are rapidly approaching the absolute physical limits of how much power a single building can handle. The electrical grid itself is severely struggling to keep pace with the ravenous appetite of artificial intelligence. New transmission lines and major substations must be constructed, which often takes many years to fully complete. Ultimately, the invisible cloud you rely on every single day is anchored to very real, physical infrastructure. It is a sprawling ecosystem of concrete, copper, heavy batteries, turbines, and millions of spinning cooling fans. It is a relentless, highly engineered global machine that burns incredible amounts of energy to keep you connected. As our digital demands continually escalate, the engineering marvels behind the curtain will only grow more complex. The next time you tap your screen, just remember the immense, unseen power making it all possible.